Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are checking out ReZero episode number 18. I don't know what is to come. Things have been going from bad to worse to somehow even worse for Subaru, and I just really want him to learn something. I want him to learn something that can help him. I want him to be able to overcome this, and it's getting really hard to watch, not in a literal sense, but it's getting hard to watch someone that I've grown to really love and appreciate within this series just be put through so much. The saddest part is too, like, none of this is his fault right now. Like, everything that is happening is completely outside of his control, and so it's really just difficult to find a way to overcome this. All right, I always say I'm excited to check these episodes out, but by the end of it, I'm just broken and distraught. So we'll see how we fare at the end of this episode. So here we go. Let's just get right into this right away. Oh, Shine. Oh shit. Wait, hold on. This is really loud. Let me turn this down just a little. Okay, we're gonna roll it back. Puck, you're so cool. So that was definitely you that we saw in episode 15, right? Because you said my daughter. My brain trembles. Ooh. Oh shit. That's not going to be enough though, right? Okay, here we go. Foolishness. Oh. Satella? So Puck knows Satella, or knew, or I don't know. I don't know. This is crazy already. Oh, I'm so glad we actually get that confirmation so soon. Holy shit, is that Puck's true form, like Beatrice mentioned? My life's labor of... Bleeding out of your eyes is crazy. Puck lives for eternity? Holy shit. Oh. Because you're not even being punished. Jeez. Yeah. That's crazy. Please, this is what I want. Yep. Okay. True. Valid. Okay. Ah. Yeah, that's basically the same thing. Holy shit. What? Destroy the world? Holy shit. The white whale is gluttony? Oh my god, there's so much. Oh, Subaru's dead though. Jeez. You truly are pride? Oh, slothful. Okay, never mind. Jeez. Oh my god. That is a crazy start to an episode. Holy shit. Oh my god. Well, Rem, it's good to see you. It's so good to see you. Holy shit. That's not it at all. We're tired by everything else. Okay, Ram. Stay away. If we stay away, then the white whale won't go there? Do nothing? Is that what it is? Oh, I don't think that's going to work, Subaru. Subaru, she's trying to tell you no. Listen. Yeah, that's certainly what he means. Oh, she is so sweet. She has so much faith in us. Yeah. Subaru, you don't understand. If you run away, there's no guaranteeing things will be okay. This is literally being the most slothful you've ever been by running away and doing nothing. That's not fair, Subaru. That's not fair. He sounds so pathetic right now, but it's coming from a place of, I have tried to do absolutely everything I can think of, and the fact that he's now reached this point, knowing the kind of character Subaru is, this is, yeah, she cannot do it. This is like the last thing I would have expected from him, because he will try everything. Oh, yes. Dragons? She's thought about everything. Wow, she really has thought everything through here. That's crazy. This absolute what if story right now. Oh. She's effectively spelling out her love to you right now, Subaru, as well. Like, this is such a sweet and beautiful moment. But it's not what you were expecting whatsoever. With a smile. But he can't wish for it with a smile. Like, this is supposed to be a beautiful moment, but I feel so sad. Oh my god, that flash just now. You have suffered. It has not been easy for Subaru. Yeah, but don't say that to... Don't give Rem shit. Don't give Rem shit right now. This is not her fault. Like, this is what I was saying too. It's very not easy for Subaru to give up. That's why it's so sad and surprising to see him actually get to this point. Oh. It doesn't suit you. She knows the true Subaru. She knows who you are. Yeah. You go all the way every time. You're the first to have a smile on your face even after you've been through something terrible. But I want it all. That is... Oh my god. Holy shit, Subaru, that is not true. This is leaving me completely speechless. I have nothing that I can say right now. That he does. Aww. Rem, you're gonna make me cry. I swear, you're so sweet. To see Subaru in this state right now. Oh. Oh. Wow, the doves. Wow. Yeah, that's what I've been saying this whole time. You brought her back to life. Oh my god, this is a very emotional episode. Melted my frozen heart. Oh. Rem will always believe. Rem will always be there. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Rem, I don't think you'll understand just how much you saved us just now. You literally saved Subaru just now. I think that's truly beautiful. Wow, I'm like really emotional. uh, yeah. My God. Ram believes in you. Listen to Subaru, come on. You really don't mind that it's me. Oh. I'm gonna do the same for you. Aww. From square one, from zero? Oh shit, she said it! Aww. Aww. Oh my god. Wow. Saying that to Ram just now does feel a little cruel, but I get it. Of course she'll help you, you silly goose. I'm weak, fragile, and small, that you are. You're a cruel man, that's what I was just saying. Someone you just rejected. That's funny. They're laughing at the future, like they said they would. Oh, a little curtsy, I humbly accept. She's adorable. My hero. Aww. Holy shit. This is the story of how I became the greatest hero. Oh, Ram. Right here from zero. Oh. From zero. Wow, this is truly a re-zero right now. We are back to the 0 point. We thought the 0 point was all the way back in episode 1. No, it's right here. We are truly in the re-zero of re-zero. I guess that's why it's called re-zero, because we're getting another chance at zero. Like, we're creating our own zero, I guess you could say. But yeah, I'm going to take a few minutes just to recover from what I just saw, and I'll be back for a post-episode talk, so just give me a few. And so that was episode number 18, simply titled From Zero. First of all, I gotta say, this is definitely a really strong showcase of character within ReZero, right? Like, this episode didn't have anything crazy flashy happening. Besides, if you take away the first, like, few minutes of this episode, first couple of minutes, whatever it was, 2 or 3 minutes probably, everything else in this episode was literally just a discussion, a conversation between two people. And the fact that that conversation was able to carry an entire episode length of content essentially is a huge success story for ReZero. We simply had Subaru and Rem both talking at different times, both at different emotional states, one at a higher state than the other, and just it's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until we get to a point where they are both able to console each other and they are both able to look past this, look past this moment, and overcome whatever comes their way. I think that it was the most beautiful episode from the series, absolutely no doubt about it. It is definitely, I don't know, this episode made me emotional. It really just hit because these characters, I love these characters, and to see them in the position they're in, to see them in the state they're in, to see them in the emotional state they're in, it's heartbreaking. And to hear Subaru voice all those things we know he's been feeling inside himself. He normally doesn't voice it. He normally keeps it in and wakes up and goes about his merry way, being a bright, bubbly, happy person with a smile on his face in order to cheer everyone else up. But we got to hear him literally, physically, audibly say that he can't do it. He has to run away because he can't do anything. He wants to do what he's been told to do from the very beginning: run away and do nothing. But we know that that is not Subaru. We know that's not the character he is. We know he's stronger than that. We know he doesn't leave anything when he is needed, when he has to, or anything like that. Forget about the person he was in the real world. In the real world, we don't even know if that's a real world. For all we know, Subaru is the Witch of Envy and the real world was where he was sealed, right? I don't think that's the case because he's not a female witch with long silvery hair and he's not an elf, right? So I don't think he's the Witch of Envy, but who's to say that that real world was real? You know, there could be something there. I don't know. I literally don't know if he has been isekai'd or if there's something grander there that we aren't aware of. Is he simply in this world because of his sins, because of his slothfulness, or anything like that, and he's being berated by Betelgeuse? It's so hard to say because I've seen so many different comments telling me different pronunciations. But is he literally here to suffer because of the way he was in the real world? That's a difficult thing to talk about because that is undermining every other character within this series. That's kind of saying that they only exist for Subaru to overcome whatever he's overcoming. It's hard to like talk about it in that sense because I don't want it to sound like Emilia going through everything she goes through, being bullied and shunned aside her whole life, is simply so Subaru can come in and save the day. That just doesn't fit right with me because I don't think I like to look at this world as a world of its own, not just one for Subaru to overcome his demons in. Even though, like, yes, he is overcoming a lot of his own doubts, he's overcoming a lot, he's learning about himself and he's becoming a better person in this world. But I like to think that this world is its own thing and that it's not just a product for Subaru. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but I hope it comes across the way I intend, the way I'm thinking about it. Anyway, I'm a little all over the place right now, so I'm just going to go through this episode as I normally would, you know, just go through the episode as it played out. And the episode, of course, starts with Puck doing what Puck does best, and that is being an absolute beast, an absolute animal, and taking out all of the witch cultists before seemingly being taken out himself. But we know that is not the case because Puck is much too good for that. Puck would not be taken out by mere unseen hands, of course. Puck overcomes it and we start to see that it has turned like a winter state. We see that the world around Subaru and Betelgeuse looks like it's just suddenly become winter, and that's reminding me, of course, of episode number 15, where the same scenario happened. As Subaru was approaching the village, he saw snow, and then as he got to the mansion, there was just a huge cloaked layer of snow across the ground. It becomes obvious then, like, okay, this was Puck. Last episode, Puck said, "my daughter." We had not heard Puck say that until episode 15, I believe. If that is wrong, feel free to correct me, but up until episode 15, we had not heard Puck say "my daughter." So that's why I wasn't sure. We did see this huge beast. It was furry, and I did at one point see an earring, so that's why I was like, okay, this has to be Puck, 100% right. But this episode confirms it, because then we see the huge beast that Puck has become. Puck taunts Betelgeuse, telling him to grow 1,000 shadows, a mere half of what Satella could do. And I don't know which way to interpret this, whether this is an interpretation of Puck basically saying that Puck knew Sattler, Puck knows Sattler, or Puck knows of what Sattler was capable of. Was Puck perhaps one of the three beings that locked Sattler away? Because we do learn that Puck is able to live forever. That is something we do learn within this episode. Well, I don't know if they say forever or just like for a very long time, but you know, Puck has probably been around since Sattler. So it would make sense if Puck knew Sattler. We still don't know exactly the truth of what Puck is. We don't know much about these spirits at all. We've just kind of been given little bits of information that Puck is very powerful and all of that. And the elders in the council were very shocked when Sattler, excuse me, forgive me, Emilia said that she had control over a spirit. She could summon forth Puck. Everyone was very surprised. And so that clicked with me that, oh, this must be a very rare thing for one, and also a very powerful thing. So obviously Emilia is a very powerful character in her own right, that she can summon forth this. And the line that basically makes it obvious that Puck has been around for a very long time is when Puck says, and I quote what I read during this episode, "A human who's only lived a few decades shouldn't talk to a spirit about time." So obviously spirits, I think it was revealed in episode 1 that spirits are the dead, those who once lived who are now dead, and Puck is a great spirit, I believe. So I don't know if that means Puck was one of the witches perhaps before he died, or if Puck was simply another being of great import, or maybe simply nothing like that. Maybe there's more to this than we know, because right now we don't have really much to go on for Puck. Puck is a huge mystery to us, and I'm very excited to learn more about, because I just want to know the true depth of Puck's existence and reasoning for what he does. And yes, Beetlejuice does then confirm that Puck will live for eternity. So I guess, yeah, that does confirm that Puck will essentially live forever. It's so awful that I was excited for when Puck said, "Now should we have a little talk, Subaru?" I was like, hell yeah, let's go. Let's have this talk. I've been waiting so long. I want to learn more. I want to know more. All of this because Subaru and Puck have had a great relationship. They have got on so well. Puck has been like, victory, victory. Just everything has been seemingly great between those two. And so up until now, I thought, okay, Puck's gonna want to share some stuff with us. We're going to learn some stuff from Puck. We're going to actually overcome some things through Puck. Like, I had a pretty good idea that we were going to reset simply because everyone had died, right? The only people left living that we know of that are important are those in the capital and Subaru and Puck. Those were the only, important characters at that point that were still alive. So I knew that a reset was coming. I just thought we would learn more before that point. Puck tells Subaru that he has broken 3 sins, or he has committed 3 sins, I guess. But the first 2 sins sounded like the same thing to me. I don't understand the separation in the terminology that Puck used for those 2 first sins. The first being that he broke a promise, and a promise is very important to a spirit arts user because a promise means everything, and we learn what Puck means by that by the end of when he is discussing these 3 sins that he has committed. So the first being that he broke a promise, and the second being that he ignored Emilia's wishes and returned here. But wasn't that also a promise? So isn't that the same as breaking the promise? Maybe not. Maybe there wasn't a spoken promise there when Emilia told Subaru to stay in the capital. I don't think there actually was a promise. So I guess that explains the second sin that he committed. But at the same time, I don't think Subaru can really be faulted for this. Subaru knows the awful shit that goes down here, and Subaru is simply trying to prevent it. So it's just difficult to see past that. It's a really tricky one to see that as a sin. And this right here, Puck telling Subaru, ignoring Leah's wishes and returning here is a sin that you committed. That is a huge trigger for Subaru's mind and the way he thinks later in this episode. I think it was this point specifically, and not just the breaking a promise, but the one where he's told you ignored the wishes and you returned here. That was a sin. That kind of would make anyone think like, me committing a sin for coming here to try and help? How does that make sense, right? That's what I'd be thinking. But then, of course, the third and probably the worst sin of all, you let Leah die. And that's when we get a close-up of Puck's mouth. We still have not seen the full face. We don't know how Puck looks in Puck's true form yet. We have only seen the bottom half of the jaw and the entire body. But holy shit, Puck looks like an absolute beast. It's, if I was to guess, I would guess kind of like saber-toothed tiger-esque, but like an albino version. Like, that's just what I'm getting. He's obviously the same color as when he's in a small version, but he has that big ass like tooth, the big tusk, whatever it is. And I'm guessing that, like, in my head, I'm just picturing Diego from Ice Age, but bigger and with the fur color of Puck. So Puck telling Subaru that he let Leah die. We get another reflection shot. This is the third episode in a row I can think of where we see Subaru's reflection in another's eyes. And it's just like, it's really hard to see how he looks. He looks so pathetic, and I don't mean that in the sense that he is a pathetic character. I just mean that in these moments, every time, he can't do anything. He is very clearly useless in a sense. And to see what Puck goes on to say then, it's really hard to read. And so Puck shares with us that in accordance with his contract with Leah, which we still don't know the extent of that contract. We don't know why that contract exists, what it truly covers, or anything like that. But in accordance with that contract, Puck will now go on to destroy the world, because Emilia is Puck's entire reason for existing. Is Puck an ancestor of Emilia? The relationship between Puck and Emilia, there's something much deeper, going back further in time than we know, before Subaru ever got here. And that flashback episode is going to go hard, because we're going to get to learn a lot more about Puck's reasonings, Emilia's reasonings, that relationship that the two of them have. It's going to be a great episode when we finally do get those answers. But for now, sadly, we don't get those answers. But Puck is going to destroy the world. That's crazy. Emilia agreed to that? Emilia agreed to a contract where, so long as she would live, the world would not be destroyed. But if she dies, Puck will just go on a rampage and kill everyone and everything. Like, it's not even just kill those who are responsible, it's destroy the world. That's like I was going to spoil a huge thing for a big series, so I stopped myself. But yeah, that's insane. That's crazy. And then that's when we get a pretty huge reveal, just almost thrown away. Like, it's very, like, I love the way that it was revealed that the white wheel is gluttony. That makes so much sense. Like, I don't know why I didn't think of that. I thought the white wheel was a witch fiend, as we learned in episode 17, because I didn't know what it was. At first I thought it would be a person, but then we learn it's an actual wheel, and then we learn it's a witch fiend, and then we learn it's actually gluttony. Like, the gluttony? The actual gluttony? I thought Satla killed all of the other witches of sin. That's what we were told by Beatrice. Beatrice said that Satla killed all other witches of sin. So either Beatrice was wrong, Beatrice didn't know the truth, that's just what Beatrice heard, which is fine and valid, or my theory a few episodes back, when a witch dies, they are reborn in another body, is somehow true. And that's what we're seeing now. We are seeing the white whale as gluttony, as a reborn gluttony, a new gluttony. And so I'm guessing that is one of the powers of gluttony, that in being gluttonous, the white whale gluttony can erase the memories of a person from others. That has to be a power that gluttony uses. And so a theory then as to why it worked then versus not now. It didn't work for the Sword Saint. Everyone remembers that the Sword Saint was killed by the white whale. Maybe the white whale wasn't gluttony at that point, or the white whale simply killed the sword saint physically, like rolled on top of him, jumped on top of him, did something else, or her. You know, we don't actually know if the sword saint was male or female. That's never actually given to us. But in order for people to forget the person, they have to be eaten or they have to be killed with a certain spell. Yeah, we don't learn that whatsoever. It's still curious though how Subaru can remember. Only Subaru remembers where everyone else forgets, and that's related to gluttony. And so we now have met two kind of sin-esques, right? With Sloth being Beetlejuice, an archbishop of sloth. So someone who has been granted the right to use unseen hand, which is a spell or an ability or something of that sort that only those who have been granted it by Sloth can use. So who is Sloth? That's still a question we don't know. We don't know who Sloth is. Is Sloth going to be a character that is world shaking, a character we know? Is that why they are messing with Subaru? Also, that changes a lot. The fact that it's Sloth, like I never voiced this before, but I'm just realizing now. Sloth, unseen hands, all of that, right? And when Subaru feels like he's about to die because he is speaking about reset by death, he feels the hands, and I wonder if he actually sees them in those moments. That's Sloth. And Subaru later in this episode talks about how Sloth, he was effectively slothful in the real world. He didn't do anything. He just lived his life and did nothing. He practiced sloth, you could say. I'm not saying he did. There's nothing wrong with doing nothing. You know, your time in the world is yours. You can spend it how you want. Just because you're alive doesn't mean you have to be going out and doing all this crazy shit. You spend your life how you wish. And that's what Subaru did. He spent his life doing nothing as he wished. But then, is it the actual sloth that is affecting Subaru? Did sloth bring us into this world? Who is sloth? What is sloth? Why are they affecting us? If they are affecting us. And then obviously talking about gluttony again, Puck tells Subaru that he led the white whale here. He led gluttony here. And now he must die for that. So Puck is going to go fight gluttony. But we don't get to see the outcome of that because Subaru dies in the meantime. But before he dies, he is breaking apart and he starts to hear a laugh, a crazy laugh. We learn that he is the one that has been laughing. And I don't know if we actually heard that laugh before. Like, did we actually hear that laugh in a previous episode, or is this the first time? I don't recall hearing it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did. And I'm just forgetting because it's easy to forget when you're trying to juggle all these thoughts at once, right? I feel like we did hear this laugh before, but I'm forgetting. And then he says he's going to die in vain. And that's reminding me of when he was asked by Beetlejuice if he is pride, because vanity and pride kind of go hand in hand with one another. And him talking about his vain, his being vain, is in a sense being prideful. And so is he doing all of this out of pride? Is he doing all of this out of wanting to be doing good, or wanting to be important, or anything like that? It's a tricky one that we don't really have definitive answers for, because I do think Subaru is a good person. I think he's a great person, and that's kind of what this episode spends a lot of time developing, on that fact that Subaru is a good person. He's not just someone who does this to look good. But Subaru himself is saying that's exactly what he does. So that's what makes this difficult, because we are hearing from the horse's mouth that he is only doing these things to sound good, to do good, to look good, because he feels like he's useless, and so he's just trying to look good and all of this here stuff, right? But I don't think that's the case. I think he's doing good because he's a good person. I think he's a genuine good person. And then after that, Subaru dies, and we kind of get to the main portion of this episode then, where we go from Subaru waking up again in front of Apagai to running away with Rem and leading her to a location where it's just the two of them alone together. From then on, it is basically just an episode about these two. And it's, like I said, a huge testament that they were able to have two characters and have Amazing character work within this episode. From just let me see how long this happens, this conversation. More than 20 minutes. This is a 20-minute section of an anime episode. This is very risky. 20 minutes of just conversation between two people. That is a very risky move within an anime series, unless, you know, it's a series that is stretching out time or something like that. You know, I'm pretty sure there are some long-running series that have probably had stuff like this, whereas, you know, in manga this would have been like half a chapter, whereas in the episode itself it's an entire episode because they're stretching out time. But in this episode, it doesn't feel that way at all. It feels like this is a very important moment and a very important conversation, and between two very important characters, and they grow a lot within this scene, and it's masterfully done, first of all. Secondly, I think that being able to slow things down at this point, slow things down when they are at the absolute height of intensity, what a great call. This was so smart to take a step back and slow things down and make it so that we are able to take everything in, digest things, and also watch our characters that we know and love grow. I cannot commend them enough for this decision. I think that it was the absolute right call here, and I'm so glad that they did it this way, because things have been so intense lately that it's hard to think of a point where they could slow down. It's hard to think of a point where they could come up with an idea, because Subaru is just trying time and time again, not slowing down. This is kind of the episode where things slow down and things come to a halt for a bit. What a great decision. Subaru declares that he is going to do nothing. He is going to do what he should have done from the very beginning, what he's been told to do from the very beginning, and that is to do nothing. And so he asks Rem if Rem will run away with him and run away to any kingdom whatsoever, any country. It doesn't matter, just so long as they can run away together. And it's not so much that Subaru wants to run away with Rem specifically, he just doesn't want to be alone. And that's pretty important, because he is declaring right here that he can't do this alone. And he's someone who has been alone for a lot of the series, because he is the only one who knows and understands what he is going through. He knows what will happen sometimes, and that he has to try and stop it. So in a sense, he has been alone for quite a bit. But he is declaring that he no longer wants to be alone, and that he wants Ram to run away with him. He probably would have asked Ram if Ram had been there instead. He just, I feel like, wants someone to run away with him, so that they can live a life where they are not interfering, they are not getting involved in anything, any politics or anything whatsoever. And all because he has reached a point where he will not do anything more. Subaru is effectively saying that nobody has ever had any need for him. His existence, his role in this world is inconsequential. He has no part in this, and he's accepting it. When Rem exclaims, "That's not true," but Subaru doesn't give her a chance to talk. He doesn't give her a chance to explain why she's saying that's not true. He just shuts that down, because in that moment, he doesn't want to hear it. He doesn't want to hear anything from anyone. He just wants to, he kind of just wants to wallow in a pit of self-pity at this point, and he is really just going to town on himself, shit-talking all over himself, and his last chance is for Rem to accept to run away with him. And she says no. She says that she will not do that. But at the same time, she says, "I've thought about it." And she basically conjures up a whole scenario that realistically could be like a what if episode. Like, what if they had gone and done this? And you would see literally everything that she laid out within this episode happening. She went so far into the future, talking about their future and what that would mean. Having children, being in love with one another, being married, their jobs, the work that they would do, and how they would love each other through time, and how they would stand by one another even when their children are being little shits. And she really just paints this really vivid picture of a life with Natsuki Subaru. And so when watching this episode, in that moment, it is a little confusing as to why she said no. But then she explains that if we were to do that, you would not be yourself. You would not even do this with a smile on your face. You would only do this because you feel like you have no confidence in yourself or anything like that. It's so well done here. The writing is immaculate and it's really painful, but also like such a great display of writing and character within this episode that Rem basically takes a situation where she goes from "that's all I want" to "no, because that's not you." It was really well done here, and she makes reference to the whole, laughing about the future opposed to looking at it and talking about it. I just counted, Rem actually talks for over 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes, about this life that they would live, and ending it with "I could end my life happily," which makes it all the more painful and sad what does get said a little later in the episode, but I'll talk about that when I get to it. I am aware that this is a very long post talk already, and I am not even halfway through the episode. Rem is asking Subaru to open up, and Subaru says, "I can't. I've thought, I've agonized, I've gone through every possible outcome. I've thought, I'm trying to do my best, but after everything, I give up. I cannot do it anymore. There's nothing I can do." I hate to keep talking about sloth, being a victim of sloth, all of this, but in this moment right now, he is effectively describing sloth. He is saying, instead of doing something, instead of trying, I'll do nothing because I can't do anything anyway. But when you accept a fate that hasn't happened, you are practicing sloth. You're practicing a laziness to even try. Because every time Subaru has gone back and tried to do something, something has changed every time. And so who's not to say that he will get it right eventually? I think that this time is the time he gets it right because he had such a powerful moment within this episode. Rem talks some sense into him, saying that giving up is not like you, Subaru. You're not someone who gives up very easily. And that's kind of harking onto something that I was saying prior to this moment, where I was like, yeah, for Subaru to actually get to this point where he's saying he gives up, that's really difficult because we have seen him suffer so much, but he's never gave up. He has been at his breaking point and broken, but he's never actually said he gives up and that he's not going to try anything anymore. He's going to literally just roll over and do nothing. He's never once said this. So it's difficult to experience these episodes, or this episode in this moment, when he is saying all this, but it is a huge testament to Rem that she is able to basically talk sense into him and use the right words to get through to him. Subaru is basically broken. He is bursting out. He is going kind of crazy. He's shouting, he's yelling, he's sweating, he's shaking, and he's got this look of desperation and just almost like fatigue, like he is fed up and tired as he is screaming at Rem, like, "You don't know me, you don't know anything, you don't know the person I am, you don't know the person I was before I got here, you don't know who I am, what I can do, what I'm capable of, and I don't know what you see in me. I'm so like unable to do anything, everything keeps slipping away from me." And Rem has an almost straight face. You can see that she is a little upset because she's keeping her mouth straight, but a part of her lip is kind of dipping down a bit. It's almost like she's biting her lip, trying not to show emotion on her face, trying to be strong for Subaru. But after a while, she bursts out and screams. And Subaru is really kind of voicing a lot of the things that viewers of this show could say about him, right? They could say he's making these poor decisions, he's doing things for the wrong reasons, he's doing this, and this, and giving him shit. And he gives himself shit. He goes on a crazy introspective and realizes all these things about himself and a lot of his faults and a lot of the things that he's done that haven't exactly been great or for the best, for the good of everyone. He even voices that later in the episode about Amelia, the things that Amelia has been saying to him. But within these moments right here to Rem, he is basically going into himself and recognizing his faults. And I think that is a really powerful moment for him, because to recognize that is to show wanting potentially for change. And I'm not saying that I agree entirely with everything he said, but at least some of it. I do think he has made some poor decisions, and I do think he could be a better person. And I think that he is going to use this going forward to change those parts about himself and to grow as a character. And I love this character growth that he has experienced. But that's when Rem cuts in after hearing Subaru say he hates himself, he doesn't like himself, he cannot stand the person that he is. Rem jumps in and says all the things she loves about Subaru. She shares that the time they spend together makes her laugh. She feels like they understand each other. She loves it when he runs his hand through her hair, when she holds his hand, when he sleeps. His eyelash is just picking out all these details that make Subaru Subaru. And some of the kindness that he shares, you know, when he's in front of Rem, he looks back to make sure he's there. He is just a very thoughtful person. As Subaru is like, no, none of that's true. You don't know anything about me. Rem screams for the first time this episode, stop. You only see yourself how you see yourself. You don't see yourself as I do. So stop telling me how I should feel. Stop telling me how I should think about you. This is how I feel, and I'm going to tell you how I feel, why I feel the way I feel, and that's all because of the person you are. And she does it so beautifully. I love the writing. The writing is perfect because she shares that in such an intense way that we feel the truth. We feel what she feels in those moments. And she shares that he is her hero. When time stopped for Rem, all the way back in the village, the demon village, time stopped for her and she hasn't been living her life. She's just kind of been frozen still. And that's something I have discussed quite a bit throughout these episodes, where I recognize that Subaru saved Rem's life. Subaru basically awoke her to living. And so the feelings she has for Subaru, this might sound crazy, but Rem's feeling of love towards Subaru could be a response to almost like a Stockholm Syndrome-esque type thing, where she feels that because he saved her life, she owes him some sort of gratitude, some sort of favor of love. But I know it goes deeper than that. I know that she probably feels these feelings are real. I'm not saying they aren't real. I'm just saying that I can understand why these feelings aren't reciprocated from Subaru to Rem, because he has been pining over Amelia from day one. That has never changed. He has always been doing reckless things for Amelia. He has always been thinking about Amelia. Everything he has done has been for Amelia. Whereas Rem, she has been female Subaru, where everything reckless that she has done has been for Subaru. So she is like a mirrored image of Subaru. But instead, in these moments, she is the one who is no longer frozen in time. It's Subaru. And she is the one who is helping Subaru in the way that Subaru helped her back in the mansion. She explains all of that, and she opens Subaru's eyes to the fact that he saved her life. He really did save her from herself, from overthinking, from being so unbelievably sad. And I think that it was beautiful that he did. And I'm so glad that they have this really beautiful relationship now. She shares that she will be there for Subaru no matter what, even when he's not there for himself, because he is her hero. And they hug each other. It's very beautiful. And the writing just goes on to be even more masterful when Subaru is saying, like, I don't deserve all of this, and you know, I hate myself. I don't see how you see me the way you do. I hate myself. Rem basically cups his head and makes him look up at her as she's got a smile on her face. Her cheeks are rosy red and she's got tears in her eyes. Her face is that of beauty, grace, and love and kindness as she says, well, I love you, Subaru. I love you. That's what makes it more painful, that we know he doesn't love her. It's been clear to us that she loves him, but he doesn't love her. And I don't think it's this awful thing. I think it's sad that he doesn't feel that way for her because of the way she feels. But I do honestly think the only reason she feels the way she does is because of the things he's done for her. I don't know if it goes as deep as the feelings that Subaru has for Amelia. You know, like Subaru has those feelings for Amelia because of all the time they spent together. Whereas I know that Rem has these feelings for Subaru, probably because of the time they spent together as well, but it's almost like the moment he saved her, she immediately developed these feelings of love. And so that's why it's both difficult but not as difficult for me to differentiate the love between Subaru and Emilia and the love between Rem and Subaru. And of course, Rem drops the sickest line in the entire series, where she says, "Let us start from square one. No, from zero." That opens up Subaru's eyes and he sees the world as bright, because things were pretty dark. The lighting was dark. Clouds were covering the sky and everything. Then the light opens up, the sun beams down on them. Rem exclaims that she will hold Subaru up and they'll walk alongside one another, bearing their burdens on each other and helping each other along the way. That's obviously when Subaru says, "I love Emilia." And I appreciate this moment because Subaru, while yes, rejecting Rem outright is very sad for Rem, because I have grown to love Rem so much. She is such a well-written character, such an amazing, beautifully kind character. And so to see her just be rejected like this after exclaiming her love for Subaru is very sad, but it was always Emilia. It was always Emilia. I appreciate that Subaru doesn't drag Rem along, allow Rem to think that there's a chance or anything like that. He tells her outright that it's always going to be Emilia and that he wants to be there for Emilia. In the same way, Rem wants to be there for him. He asks for Rem's help. And it's very funny because Rem says, "Wow, you're very cruel to ask someone you just rejected to do all this for you." And it's a very beautiful moment because Rem smiles at him and they laugh together. As they're talking about the future, they laugh. And it's a beautiful callback to earlier in this episode. And this is a moment, this laugh from Subaru is... It means a lot, because this is the first time in a long time I feel like Subaru is laughing with someone in a positive way and not because he is being a character. He's not pretending to be someone that he isn't. He's not acting. He is truly happy and he is truly laughing as they talk about the future right here. And it means a lot, especially when earlier in the episode he was laughing at how hopeless and how useless he is. But of course, Rem does start crying then, because this is a heartbreaking moment for her. She has been very strong. She has taken Subaru out of the lowest pit he has been in. She has helped him in ways that he does understand, because he voices it and he appreciates her. But it's very sad for Rem in this moment as she cries into his chest, recognizing that her love for him will never be reciprocated. And so they begin anew from zero. What a great episode. This episode was amazing. I guess because I went through the entire episode, I feel like my throat is kind of sore. I've been recording for a long time, talking for a long time. I might just wrap this one up. I'd love to hear your questions regarding this episode if you have any, about how I felt about certain things. Please, please, please don't spoil anything in the comments below. But if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I will be back very soon with another ReZero video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. And yeah, I hope that you're having a great day today and that you're able to take it easy. I will see you in the next one. Take care.